Hi everyone, so today we are going to make a cookie cat hat. The yarn colors you'll need a pink shade or any color you want really. I used the pink shade for this one. I used Aran for the cream, so strawberries and cream. I don't really have a good shade of pink, so this time I'm using this peachy yarn. I'm using the same Aran and I'm using chocolate yarn. It's basically just worsted weight yarn. Tape measure to get the circumference of your head. I like to use 2 different sizes of crochet hooks, so I really like the 5mm for, excuse me, I use the 5mm for the main body, and then I use the 4mm to finish off, to finish off. Then you will need snips to cut your yarn. You'll need stitch markers as well. Let's get started. First, I'm going to show you how I make the eyes. You take the smaller hook, which is a size 4 for me. You do magic ring and chain 1. Okay. Then you put 10 double crochet into that. You can also put 12 double crochet if you want bigger eyes, but I'm just going to do 10. So 10 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. My yarn keeps wanting to split. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet and close it off. Leave enough yarn to sew the eye onto the hat. Then snip. Close the circle. I hate that. And we have the first eye. So then you go on ahead and make the second eye using the Aran. And then put those 2 to the side. Now we are going to start with the main body of the hat. First, like I mentioned earlier, the circumference of my head is 22. So I want to do a foundation chain that's going to be 11 inches. Magic circle, with your size 5mm hook. I almost used the 4mm. Chain 1, that's going to count as the first chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 11 inches. You know what? Yarn stretches, so instead of doing 11mm, I'm just going to do 10 because this is acrylic yarn and we don't want it to be too big. So chain 2, don't know if y'all can see, and then we're going to double crochet all the way to the end in every stitch. Okay, so now we are here. I'm going to put 2 stitches in this last chain to turn the work around. 1, 2. We are around. Now I'm going to double crochet in every single stitch all the way to the end. So put a stitch in the last, put a double crochet in the last chain, and then we'll connect it to the top of the first chain. So this is what it looks like. It's about the same. If you notice, the ends are rounded, which is, you know, that's where we put the 2 stitches to turn it around. This is already 1, so we're going to add 11 more rows of double crochet to kind of form the hat. It's flat right now, but once I start adding more rows, it's going to curve downwards. 11 more rows, and then I'll be back. I just realized this whole time I've been saying that it stops at the brows. Actually, no, it doesn't stop at the brows. This actually ends at the forehead, and then the entire hat stops at the brow. So my bad. Here are the 12 stitches, the 12 rows, excuse me. So let's finish this up real quick, and then I'll show you all how I color change for the, in this case, peaches and cream filling. Okay, so we are going to go on ahead, and before I do the last 2, let's just figure this out real quick. Stitch marker on this end. Wait a minute, make sure it's exactly on the side, right there. Stitch marker exactly on this side. What we're basically doing is trying to find the middle of the hat. Take this out. That's the middle. This is the middle. I like these stitch markers because they're kind of like safety pins, and once you fasten them, they're not going anywhere. I want to establish where the front is because the seam is going off into the back a little bit. This is going to be the front of the hat. We want cream on this side and the peach filling on this side. So I'm going to get my Aran yarn. Excuse me. Get this ready. Okay. Now we are going to go in, I don't know if you can see, yarn over 1, insert, take a loop, pull through 2 loops, get the Aran yarn, and use that to pull through the last 2 hoops. Then I don't know if you can tell, but you notice how it kind of makes a V. We're going to go into the back of this V right here. So we're going to do the back loops only for this next row. I don't know why I keep, no, 2 is fine. So back loops only. So chain 1. We are going to double crochet to this part, to the half. So back loops only. So we're gonna double crochet all the way. Oops. I'm taking the 2 in the back because, yeah, that's just how I like to do it. Now we are going to yarn over, back loops only, pull through 2 loops, take out the stitch marker because we're done with this. Now you can put this Aran down and carry it around, but I don't like the bulk that creates, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this right here. Gonna get that peach. So going to attach the peach. Gosh, you can't even tell. It's so washed out, but I promise it's 2 different colors. Now keep going. Back loops only. and I'm going to hide my yarn tail a little bit as I go. I'm not going to bother with the Aran because I'm just going to sew that in, but with the peach I'm going to hide my yarn tails a little bit as I go. So back loops only, all the way to the second halfway point, and I will be back when I get to the second halfway point. And we're back. So back loops only, yarn over, go in. We're about to switch colors, pull through 2 loops. I'm not going to need this peach anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. Grab the Aran. The change is so subtle, but it's there. So attach the Aran. Pull this peach tight. We can take out the stitch marker now because we don't need that anymore since we made it all the way around. And we're done with the stitch markers. So now, still in the back loops. The reason why we did in the back loops only was because I wanted a very clear straight line, that there's a clear separation between the chocolate and the filling. So we're going to go ahead and cut the Aran. We are also going to carefully switch out our size 5.5 millimeter hook for a size 4 millimeter hook because we're about to go into the brim. Take the brown, pull it through, then connect it to the first cream double crochet. Now with the size 4 millimeter hook, okay, so we are nearing the end of the hat. So we are right here. We just did the filling. So what we want to do next is we want to do 1 row of double crochet all the way around to start off. So 1 row all the way around in our 4 millimeter hook. So, oops, what's going on here? It's not anything fancy, just basic double crochet. Alright, I'm gonna do this all the way around, and what that's going to do is it's going to start a tapering effect. If you don't like the tapering, that's what the smaller hook does, but if you don't like the tapering, you can stick to your larger hook. In my case, it was 5.5 millimeter. But if you want the tapering effect like I do, then you switch to a smaller hook. You can also use a 5 millimeter hook for not not a drastic change. I mean, it's not really drastic in my opinion. I feel like the 4 millimeter is perfect, but if you want larger stitches for this part, you can use a larger hook. We are coming to the end of this row. This is actually row 14, I believe. We've switched out the hooks to start the tapering effect, so that way the hat doesn't, fall off your head or get blown off your head way too easily. So, we're going in the first double crochet. It's always so tight. Anyway, first double crochet, pull through, chain 1. So now, as you can see, it's kind of coming in a little bit. This is the last little bits are going to be front post, back post, double crochet, and we are doing the last chocolate rows. We have 5 chocolate rows to finish. You can do as many chocolate rows as you want. I personally prefer just doing 4 to 5 because that seems like the perfect amount for the ribbing. I always do 4 to 5. So front post, back post, double crochet. We're going to do 4 rows of that and finish off. So I chained 1. I'm going to go back post like so. Wait, was that front post? Front post. Sorry. Back post. Front post. Back post all the way around for this row to kind of make a faux ribbing effect. It's also very stretchy, so it's just a nice finisher in my opinion. And then the fact that I'm using a smaller hook will make things taper in nicely. So, oops. Yeah, I will be back after doing all the rows of ribbing to show how I attach the eyes. I ended up doing 4 rows because I'm lazy. And I don't know, it just seemed like enough. Also, so there's an obvious back. This is the seam. If you look, you can see the tapering effect that I was talking about earlier. This is why I use 2 different hooks. I just have to. So now I'm about to sew the eyes on. So the peach cream is on this side, so peach eye. Then I guess vanilla cream is on this side. I find that having the eyes closer together it just looks a little bit better when I do it that way, because it looks weird when the eyes are too spaced or too far or spaced too far apart. So I'm just going to go on ahead and sew these eyes on. This is completely optional. You can turn the hat inside out and stitch the ears using the brown yarn. So basically, you know, you stitch. I haven't sewn any of the yarn tails in yet, but you stitch the ears so that way it's very defined. You don't have to, because it's still going to look like a cat regardless. You can just put it on and pinch the ears, but you can stitch it so that way it stays cat-like. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I do have listings for this hat in my Etsy store if you want one and you don't want to make it yourself. But if you made it this far into the video, congratulations. And if you were able to make one for yourself, extra kudos to you, because yeah, I know crocheting can be practice and patience sometimes. Anyway, this is basically to me it's a 2-hour project, sometimes less depending on what I'm doing in the background. But yeah, Cookie Cat, that's pretty much it. Have a good day, y'all. Thanks for watching.